and thanks so much for joining me for this Get Ready With Me featuring my September favorites. Let's go ahead in with my primer of choice. It seems like it's the only one I've been pulling for. It's the Mattifying Base by Chanel, and this doesn't have any glow, just smooths over these areas. I feel like let's go in with the under eye concealer first because I feel like it'll help us figure out how much foundation to apply. So I'm going in with the Westman Atelier here, and this is in the shade M2. Just a little bit. Focus it right there. And then let's take this concealer brush. And I feel like this does the same kind of job in terms of less is more, like the Chanel concealer that I love so much. It looks more natural with less product. Now, you know I've been talking about the Ultra Le Teint a lot. I love this one, and I thought, let me try the other one that I think is similar to this, except it has a little bit more of a luxurious texture to it. It's the Sublimate Le Teint by Chanel, and I have this one also in BD41. So this is my perfect shade match in Chanel. I just like to take what's on the lid there and then just apply it to my hand first so I can decide how much, because a little goes a long way with this foundation as well. So this has a really lovely, again, luxurious texture. So I try not to add too much of this because otherwise it can get a little on the heavy side. So let me just take one of my Shieseido brushes here. I haven't used this for a while, but I also haven't been applying foundation for a while. Thought since we're getting into fall, now's a good time to take these foundations out again. I feel like this jar is misleading a little bit in the way that I feel like jar products are just creamy like skincare. But this one also performs really well. So I remember, I think it was last year around this time, I had filmed a video and it started raining. And then I had to go out, maybe it was the video where I was trying to make sure I could finish filming before maybe we lost power. So there was a lot of rain, and I ended up going outside with my husband in the rain with this makeup on. And we were out there digging trenches, all kinds of things to divert water away from the house. So I expected this makeup to look really in poor shape by the time I came back in, but it looked really, really nice. So this also has some amazing staying power to it. Looks really pretty after hours of wear and also working outside. I don't normally put my foundation through that kind of a test, but just happened to be a day I was using this in a video and it was a really great test. Now we don't need much concealing at all. Usually I'll go in with eyes right now, but I thought we'd go in with concealer and blush because I'm using a combination of concealers, well, liquid concealers and liquid blushes. So I'm going to show you two different versions because this is what I use more on the daily because it has SPF in it. So as you know, I wear SPF daily, and I always like to protect these dark spots because once the sun hits these, because it's happened before when I wasn't super careful years ago, I noticed they really just turn dark again really fast. So I just want to make sure they're protected. So I go in with this Ciele Concealer here, and this is in, let me see what shade it's in. Let me just put that on first so you can see what I'm doing. But this is in the shade 08P, so it's the peachier of them. And then I'm gonna go in with this by Westman Atelier, and I'll show you how we do it over here. So this one is the same one I put under the eye. So I just put kind of like, I mean, it's kind of a lot, but I'll show you the reason I do that. I'm gonna put some on my chin. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of the Chanel, because I do like that this doesn't have a peachy tone to it, the BD41, and the Chanel concealer, and around the nose. I know, that's a lot. It's a lot of concealers for one face, but there are different needs for different parts of the face as well. So there's redness here, so it's not peachy, so it kind of combats the redness. The peachiness combats the darkness, and then also the textures for certain parts of the faces work better in some parts than in others. So that's why there are so many different concealers. And I do need to do a rundown of them. So I'm going to show you how I go in with the SPF side first. So this is the Ciele blush in Kirsty. I think I said Kirsty. So I'm going to take some, and because it's a little unpredictable with these, I'm going to take some and just put it on my hand like this. And then I'm going to take a small brush. I know some of you have similar issues with me with concealer and then liquid blush lifting it off. So I've been doing this where I apply the concealer first, and it's okay, it's sitting in there for a little bit. I take some of that blush and I take a smaller brush, like this is a REPHR B01, and I stipple it right on top. So that I'm not really worrying about any other part of my cheek yet, but I just want those two to kind of come together so that I'm not lifting off anything in the process. And then I'll go in with another brush and take more of the product. So this is a REPHR B02 this time. There might be a better kind of synthetic brush here, but this is what I've been using. Okay, so, and I'm going to just get some more of that Ciele blush. This is SPF 50 as well, this blush. And then just stipple on in a much larger area, and then being gentle with this front part, but it's helping it stay intact. So if you have issues like me when it comes to dark spots and lifting when you have a liquid blush, then this might be something interesting to try. Although I think I shared this the last time, so let me know if you've tried it. I'm just going to take this Sephora brush. It's 57 just for this here. Broken capillaries, and then let me just blend here, the chin. So the Western Atelier has a nice second skin-like finish to it. I really like it without powder. It's really pretty. Okay, so now let's take this other brush. So that's the Ciele side. So you can see it looks really natural, and you can see it hasn't been lifted off. So let's go in with this YSL blush, which is really lovely. And this can be a challenge for those of us who have to worry about concealer, because same issue. So I'm going to put this on the back of my hand again, take this same brush. It's okay, it has a little bit of the other stuff on there, but I do the same thing. So just pick it up, just something small, stay concentrated in this area, stipple it in. So kind of just starting in the center and going outwards. And you can see, like, just blends in really nicely. And then taking a bigger brush and doing that with the rest of the cheek, just stippling. Because I know some of you have this and are trying to figure out the best way to use it based on other makeup. That's the challenge, I think, with liquid blushes. They are beautiful on the skin because they really blend so seamlessly with the skin and the makeup, except for when there's concealer underneath. This is when the problem occurs, and I feel like this is a nice solution to that because there's a lovely blurring effect with this particular blush, this YSL. I think it's really pretty on the skin. It's really flattering on the skin. Doesn't bring about texture like some powders can. And I feel like it's in between this and some of those balmier cheek products that are a little too slippery, slidey on my skin type. I think they're really great for drier skin types, but this is like a great alternative for those with more combo skin. So that's the YSL. It's got more color payoff. I mean, you can go in with this Kirsty a little bit deeper, but I am going to even this out. I'm gonna apply it over here as well, just because I think it's so beautiful. So the Kirsty is a little bit more pragmatic for a prettier result, though I really like this YSL. And I don't go directly on my cheek because I can't control the amount, and then the intensity is kind of, can get out of hand really quickly on me. So I like to go in with this a little on the back of the hand, and that way I can really choose how much I want on there and can build it a little slower. But that's my little blush concealer technique for if I have discoloration, not if, because I have discoloration. So if I have concealer to apply first, that's how I've been doing it. It works really well. So I hope that helped in case you were wondering about how best to use those products if you have some of my similar issues. So we're gonna go in with the brows, and I've really been enjoying, it's funny, Baby Blade. I feel like I rely on a lot of Victoria Beckham products without realizing it. So many of her products are staples of mine. So I'm just going in really quickly here with the Baby Blade in dark brown, and then remembering to just apply more pressure here and less pressure here. And then if I have too much, just using the spoolie. Their spoolie is very nice as well. I feel like it really does a nice job of giving some control over how much or how little you would like to break up that pigment. There's a lot of precision in this pencil, even including the spoolie. I think it allows a lot of precision. Just finishing up here with the Jones Road Beauty. This is their clear brow gel. That's a really good one. So if you have brows like me that are a little unruly and want to do their own thing, this one really gets them in place, but it's not crunchy or distracting. I've had brow gels that have a lot of hold, but they can flake off, or it's just that you can feel them. So it has some flexibility as well. So let's go in with eyes. Let's go in with Brun Talpa. This is not new. I just really keep pulling for it. So this is the one I've been using. It's one of the easiest shadows of mine to use. I'm gonna take just this. Let's see, which one shall we take? Let's take this number 201 BK Beauty. Just gonna go really quickly on top. Well, this is a really pretty shadow by itself. Has a lovely sheen to it. This is a great brush for one and done, because it brings it up into this crease area a little bit without having to work too hard. Okay, and then we're going to go in with this Hermes palette. So this is the one, number 11, and really take this, because the shadow I picked from Chanel that I thought was going to do something like just a nice light kind of shade that's gonna illuminate, ended up transforming my shadow. So I still need to pick up with a beige version of this, but this one does a very nice job. So I don't know if I need this color right here. So I'm going to just apply it here on top, because that's all I want to do. I don't want to change the color. I just want to illuminate the center. So you can see how that did that right there. Just give a little bit more dimension. Just want this to pop out a little bit, just like that. So this one has a really nice illuminating kind of quality to it. So if you have this palette, it's really versatile, this shade. So we're going to take another brush, and I really like this for a liner. So I appreciate the precision I can get with a powder shadow just pressed into the lash line like this. It's really subtle, but when it's got a color like this, I like it to be really close to the lash line. Yeah, so it's just a little hint of color, but just intensifies right at the base of the lashes. Just like that. I really like these for more versatile looks. And then let's go in with some Faux Longest Lash Mascara. I ran out of my full size. I need to get another one, but this is the like a little travel version of it. It was like a gift with purchase. I really like the brush on these too. Like even this little mini one has the same lovely kind of brush. Okay, so now I just change into this sweater here, and let's add the finishing touches as usual. Oh gosh, what happened here? My camera is like... So a few finishing touches here. I just changed into this cream sweater, and we're gonna go in with Trench right underneath to cancel out the redness. If you saw my, what was it, 10 items I use almost every day, this is one of those. Actually, I've used already several of them, but just made me think of it. Little minor details that make a big difference. And then we'll go in with the CdP Concealer. And I got so distracted with the blush, I forgot another step. So let's just add this on to clean up the edges. So it's a CdP brush. Really great for this right here because it's got a nice straight line on it, on the edge, like this. And then I was debating, oh wait, almost forgot. So bronzer, because we went a little out of order, I've got here Atlas by Hermes. This is a really great one with this particular foundation because it is on the warmer side. This is a warmer blush. In fact, let me find my brush. In fact, this is one of the warmest bronzers I've tried. Okay. I think, oh, I had a question. Oh, here it is. I had a question about this brush, I think. This is the Niji Pro by Sonia G. And what sold me on this brush when I read about it is that it talked about it being able to apply makeup without lifting it off. And I love brushes that do that because of course I don't want my makeup to move around after I've applied it. So that was really appealing about this brush. So especially now since I added that blush first, I don't want to move it around. I feel like with bangs, I don't really need to worry about this forehead as much anymore because you can't really see it. Yeah, I've since had it cut again, so it was trimmed. Okay, lots of things behind me. So let me see what we can do to get this some kind of style here. And then for lips. So I talked about in that 10 most used products. Also, I forgot to mention that I love this shade, 914 Natural Charm. Let's see, we might need to add a little bit more of color, because I know it might not look amazing on camera because of the lighting. Sometimes it gets washed out, but I can show you this one at least. Okay, that's like a Your Lips But Better kind of shade, but just a tinge warm. Do we need more color? Let me see. I feel like it's a little washed out because everything else is so neutral. I wonder if I should go with something a little cooler and a little brighter. So let me see if I can find something that will work a little bit better. So let me just check. Okay, actually, sorry, I just took that off. I was looking for this initially and then I remembered, oh yeah, I packed it because we are traveling again. I want to make sure to take this. So this is the YSL. I think this is gonna make it up there with some of the other products I feature a lot. It's the Rouge Volute Candy Glaze in 05. Okay, and then just go in with a little bit of highlighter here. This is Victoria Beckham, and this is in Pearle. So let's just take a little, let's take this one. This is a REPHR brush here, and it's a B05. So I'm just going to take a little bit on this right here, right to the top of the cheekbones here. I'm just going to take a little bit down the bridge of my nose. That's it for the Get Ready With Me, and as always, please leave your tips and tricks around these products. How do you use them, especially the liquid blushes? I think that's a little bit tricky. So if you have concealer underneath or other foundations that you use, or do you have combinations that work really well for you, please let us know. And that is it for today's video, so please take care of each other, stay well if you enjoyed this video. If you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Of course, I don't want to move my mic around, well.